Hello John, you're going to tell me about your experience of visiting a graveyard in County Cavan quite recently.
That's right, Oliver. I visited a church near a lake near Mulla in County Cavan. It's actually on the borders of Meath and County Cavan. It's quite near Kells and quite near Virginia in County Cavan. You get to it in jig time. But as you go towards Mulla from the Virginia side, you come to a lake, and then you can park there where people often in the summertime are there and having picnics and that kind of thing. And on the left hand side, a lovely lake with an island on it, and on the left hand side there's a Protestant church with a drive up to it, and it was this that some person I know visited and told me about what was in that graveyard. So we visited it there last Sunday, myself and a friend. We visited last Sunday, parked the car at the lake and had a nice walk along. And then there was a drive up to this Protestant church, as it turns out, and then an older ruined church that was a Catholic church. So it would have been a Catholic church before it was taken over by in the Reformation end of it, it was taken over by the Protestants. So we went down there, and I noticed in the graveyard there was on the left hand side there was the people of the Protestant persuasion where they're buried, but in the graveyard itself there was a mixture of Catholics and people of other faiths, and then there was kind of stones where people that wouldn't have been able to afford a headstone, but there was a mark, if you like, where they were buried, because they would have been very poor obviously at the time, and so that would have been the reason for that. But in any event, in that graveyard we went down further into it and come across a monument to 320 famine victims from Mulla that are buried there in near enough, I would say, a mass grave. And between 1845 and 1849. It was a very sobering and sad occasion when we visited that, and we said prayers for those people that met their end in such a tragic way. We know that 1 million people in this country died between 1845 and 1849, and that's a substantial amount, died on the side of the road. A dreadful event that occurred in this country, because those people had small bits of ground at that time, and all they could grow was potatoes, because they could have no room to grow anything else. And of course, when the blight, this disease, hit the potatoes, they had nothing to live on. At that time, there was food being exported by the landlord class, the absentee landlord class, and ships going abroad while the people were starving. There was negligence by the people that were ruling the country, namely the British at the time, and a certain hatred for that country developed because of their negligence during that period, not counting the 1 million or more that had to emigrate, a lot of them dying on the way from TB and malnutrition. If you have not nourished, you have very little chances of survival. So that visit to that church, there was nothing in the entrance to indicate that this is what you were going to come across. So it reminded me that respect needs to be paid to that part of our history, and to what they suffered, and to think that during that period, just prior to that, this country got what they call Catholic emancipation. Prior to 1829, the famous Kerry man, Daniel O'Connell, in a peaceful way, was able to get this Catholic emancipation, which meant that you could practice your Catholic faith openly. So churches were built in this time by people, the Catholics of this country, that had very little or nothing. And then in 1845 to have this dreadful scourge of the famine. And that kind of legacy, I suppose there isn't a family, including myself, that wouldn't have had relatives that would have perished at that time. So this could account for the strong Catholic tradition that we had up to 20 or 30 or 40 years ago. It has declined because of the secular agenda that has occurred in the political class in this country. One hopes it can be reversed by the advent of other parties that are more pro-life and trying to restore the dignity of Irish people that have suffered this kind of neglect from the state as regards their cherished history and their cherished Christian beliefs. It's not respected by this government and not respected by the media.
So the key message is respect.
Well, this is it. The key message is respect and acknowledgement of what our ancestors had to suffer and how we managed, some of us, to survive, some of our relatives to survive.
Thank you very much, John.
Thank you very much, John.